Good day. This video talks about SPM Mathematics Paper 2 for 2023. It shows how to answer the questions with easy steps and tips to help students understand better and score well. Question number 1. A. State the number of students who took part in the survey. The key in diagram 1 means that the number on the stem represents the tens place, and the number on the leaf represents the ones place. 1 is the tens digit, and 5 is the ones digit. Putting them together gives 15 minutes. The time of answering the survey shown in the stem and leaf plot represents how many minutes each student took to complete the survey. First student took 15 minutes to complete the survey. Second student took 18 minutes to complete the survey. Third student took 32 minutes to complete the survey. Fourth student took 35 minutes to complete the survey, and so on. To find the number of students who took part in the survey, we need to count all the numbers, called leaves, in the stem and leaf plot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. There are 12 students took part in the survey. B. Determine the mode of distribution. In statistics, the mode is the value that appear most frequently in a data set. Looking at the stem and leaf plot, let's list all the times: 15, 18, 32, 35, 37, 44, 45, 46, 46, 47, 52, 54. 46 appears twice. All others appear only once. So, the mode of distribution is 46 minutes. C. Write one inference based on distribution of the time. The maximum time of answering the survey is 54 minutes. Question number 2. To complete the table for the equation given, we substitute each x value into the equation to calculate y. Substitute x equals minus 2.5. The value of y is 9.5. When x equals minus 1.5, the value of y is 1.5. When x equals 1, y equals minus 1. When x equals 2, y equals 5. Now, use this table to plot the points on the graph. The point, minus 3, 15. Minus 2.5, 9.5. Minus 1.5, 1.5. 0, minus 3. 1, minus 1. 2, 5. And 3, 15. Join the points with a curved line, and it forms a U-shaped graph. Question number 3. Find the equation of the straight line which is parallel to PQ and passes through point T. The line that passes through the point T is parallel to PQ. To find the equation of this straight line, there are 3 key things. 1. The gradient, m, same as PQ. 2. A point the new line passes through, point T. 3. Equation of straight line, y equals mx plus c. The line PQ cut y-axis on 0, 2. Find the gradient of PQ. Gradient equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Gradient of PQ equals 4 minus 2 over 3 minus 0 equals 2/3. The line passes through the point T, 1, minus 1. And it has a same gradient with the line PQ, m equals 2/3. By using the formula, y equals mx plus c, substitute the point, 1, minus 1, and the gradient, 2/3 into the formula. The value of c is minus 5/3. Therefore, the equation of the straight line can be written as y equals 2/3 of x minus 5/3. Question number 4, A. Complete this argument by writing an appropriate conclusion. To write a strong conclusion, stick closely to what premises tell. Premise 1. All acidic substances have a pH value less than 7. Premise 2. Apple vinegar is an acidic substance. Ignore the info that appear twice, acidic substances appear twice. Form a sentence with the info of pH value less than 7 and apple vinegar. Therefore, the conclusion is apple vinegar has a pH value less than 7. Question number 4, B, 1. Table 2 shows the amount of money in his savings account at the end of each month. By using induction, write a conclusion for the amount of money in the savings account Y Ringgit Malaysia at the end of month X. From the table, we can see the amount increases by Rm 315 each month. That's the common difference in an arithmetic sequence. To find the common difference, simply subtract any term from the one that comes after it. That is term 2 minus term 1, 915 minus 600 equals 315. So, the savings form an arithmetic sequence, where the first term equals Rm 600, and the common difference equals Rm 315. The general formula of an arithmetic sequence written as y equals a plus x minus 1 in a bracket times d, where y is the amount of money, x is the month number, a is the first term, and d is the common difference. Plug a equals 600 and d equals 315 into the formula. Y equals 600 plus x minus 1 in a bracket times 315. Simplify as y equals 600 plus 315x minus 315. By using induction, the amount of money in Sheikh Jamal's savings account at the end of month X is given by the formula y equals 285 plus 315x, where x equals 1, 2, 3, and so on. 4, B, 2. The estimated cost of Sheikh Jamal's holiday is Rm 3,500. Using your answer to be 1. Y equals 285 plus 315x. Calculate the number of months it will take Sheikh Jamal to save the amount. Y is the amount of money, and x is the month number. Sheikh Jamal has a total money of 3,500. Substitute 3,500 into the equation. 3,500 is equal to 285 plus 315x. Transpose 285 to left-hand side. The calculated result is 10.21. Round up 10.21 to 11. Therefore, it takes 11 months for Sheikh Jamal to save the amount. Question number 5. A. Complete the Venn diagram in the answer space. Start with the group that did all 3 competitions. the number of students who joined the competition of coloring, singing and cooking is 5. Place 5 in the center of the Venn diagram, where all 3 circles overlap. Use the groups that did 2 competitions. 9 students did coloring and singing. But 5 of those are already counted in the all 3 group. Therefore, the number of students who joined only coloring and singing is 9 minus 5. So only 4 did coloring and singing. 15 students did cooking and singing. Again, 5 are already in the all 3 group. 15 minus 5, so 10 did cooking and singing. The table tells us 6 students did only singing. 12 students did only in coloring. Use the total numbers for each competition to find what's missing. The total number of students in coloring is 30. Therefore, the number of students who joined coloring and cooking, but not singing, is 30 minus 12 minus 4 minus 5 equals 9. The total number of students in cooking is 35. 35 minus 9 minus 5 minus 10. We have 11 students who did only cooking. This is how the Venn diagram should be filled in using the numbers from the table. B1. Hence, find the number of students who joined one competition only. These are the regions where students joined only one competition. 12 plus 6 plus 11 equals 29. Therefore, 29 students joined only one competition. B2. Find the number of students who did not join both the coloring and cooking competition. Here are the regions representing students who joined both the coloring and cooking competition. The remaining regions indicate the number of students who did not join both the coloring and cooking. (12 plus 4 plus 6 plus 10 plus 11 equals 43. Therefore, 43 students did not join both the coloring and cooking competition. Question number 6. A. Describe the motion of the car between the 20th second and the 25th second. From the speed time graph. The flat section on a speed time graph always represents uniform speed. From 20 seconds to 25 seconds, the graph is flat at 17 meters per second, which means the car is moving at a uniform speed of 17 meters per second between the 20th second and the 25th second. B. Calculate the total distance, in meters, traveled by the car during acceleration and deceleration. Understand what acceleration and deceleration periods are. Acceleration means the speed increases. The line moves upward. Deceleration means the speed decreases. The line moves downward. We only need to calculate the distance traveled during these two periods. In a speed time graph, the distance traveled is the area under the graph. Find the area during acceleration. That's the distance from 10 seconds to 20 seconds. The graph forms the shape of a trapezium. The two parallel sides are 13 and 17. The distance between the parallel sides is 10. So, the area of the trapezium, which represent the distance traveled, is 1/2 multiplied by the sum of the two parallel sides, then multiplied by the distance between them, the height. 1/2 times sum of 13 and 17 times 10. Next, find the area during deceleration. That's the distance from 25 seconds to 50 seconds. The graph forms the shape of a triangle. With the height of 17 and base of 25. The area of the triangle, which represent the distance traveled, is 1/2 times base times height. 1/2 times 25 times 17. The calculated result is 362.5 m. Therefore, the total distance traveled during acceleration and deceleration is 362.5 meters. Question number 7. A. In 2022, Helen was admitted to hospital and the cost of her treatment was 1050 ringgit Malaysia. Would the insurance company bear the cost of the treatment? Explain. Deductible is an amount that must be borne by the policyholder before they can make a claim from the insurance company. Helen must first pay 1500 ringgit Malaysia out of her own pocket before the insurance starts paying. But here, the treatment cost is only 1050 ringgit Malaysia, which is less than the deductible 1500 ringgit Malaysia. Thus, the insurance company didn't bear the cost of the treatment because the treatment cost is less than the deductible amount. B. Helen underwent surgery in a hospital in 2022, and the cost of the surgery was 29,900 ringgit Malaysia. Calculate the cost borne by Helen herself. The surgery cost is 29,900 ringgit Malaysia. Helen must first pay the deductible 1500 ringgit Malaysia. After deductible, 29900 minus 1500. The remaining amount is 28,400. This part is shared between Helen and insurance company. Co-insurance rate is 85/15. Insurance company pays 85% of 28,400 ringgit Malaysia. Helen pays 15% of 28,400 ringgit Malaysia. Calculate Helen's share. 28,400 times 15% equals 4,260 ringgit Malaysia. The deductible, 1500. And the co-insurance share, 4260. Therefore, the cost borne by Helen herself is 1,500 plus 4260 equals 5,760 ringgit Malaysia. Question number 8. A. Write a linear inequality that represents condition 3. Condition 3. The minimum number of cupcakes sold is 10. This means the number of cupcakes sold, which is represented by y, must be at least 10. The minimum number of 10 can be understood as at least 10, meaning 10 or more. So, the linear inequality is y is greater than or equal to 10. B. Complete the graph. We now have all the inequalities. Since x is greater than or equal to 0, and y is greater than or equal to 0, it implies that the graph only makes sense in the first quadrant. Draw the line x equals 0. Shade the unsatisfied region. Shade left of the line. Draw the line y equals 0. Shade the unsatisfied region. Shade below the line. X plus Y less than or equal to 50. Shade the unsatisfied region. Shade above the line. X less than 30. Draw a dashed line x equals 30. Dashed line because it is a strict inequality. Shade the unsatisfied region. Shade right of the line. Y greater than or equal to 10. Draw a solid line y equals 10. Shade the unsatisfied region. Shade below the line. In this way, the final unshaded region is where all inequalities are satisfied. The solution is the area of unshaded region. That is the set of values for X and Y that Julia's sales could be. Question number 9. Diagram 5 shows an equilateral triangle ABC. Point P, Q, and R are midpoints of lines BC, AC, and AB respectively. A. State whether triangles APB and BQC are congruent. Justify your answer. Triangle APB and triangle BQC are congruent due to the length of corresponding sides are equal. AB equals BC, AP equals BQ, and BP equals CQ. Therefore, the triangle congruent rule is side side side. SSS. B. Triangle PQR is the image of triangle ABC under a single transformation. Describe fully the transformation. In any enlargement transformation, every original point, the center of enlargement, and the image point must lie on the same straight line. They are collinear. Let's draw lines connecting each corresponding point. Draw a line through A and P, a line through C and R, a line through B and Q. The point where all three lines meet is the center of enlargement. The center of enlargement is 3, 2. Then, find the scale factor by measuring the sides of the triangles. The formula of scale factor K is the length of image divided by the length of object. Measure a side of the original triangle. BC is 5 units. Measure the corresponding side of the image triangle. RQ is 2.5 units. The scale factor equals 2.5 over 5. If the shape is the same way up, the scale factor is positive. If the shape is flip, the scale factor is negative. Triangle PQR is flip. Then, a symbol of minus is added to the scale factor. Equal minus 1/2. Thus, the single transformation that maps triangle ABC onto triangle PQR is an enlargement with the center at 3, 2 and a scale factor of minus 1/2. Question number 10. A. Miss Ilham calculates her chargeable income by subtracting the total amount in table 6.1 from her total annual income. Is her calculation step correct? No. Tax rebate should not be subtracted during calculation of chargeable income. Tax rebate be subtracted during calculation of tax payable. B. Calculate the income tax that Miss Ilham needs to pay for that year. First, a chargeable income is needed before a tax payable is calculated. Chargeable income refers to the amount of income that is subject to tax, after applying all allowable deductions and reliefs. Chargeable income equals total income minus tax exemption and minus tax relief. The total income $69,200. Tax exemption $470. Tax relief $18,500. Chargeable income equal 69200 minus 470 minus 18,500. The calculated result is 50,230 ringgit Malaysia. Once the chargeable income is determined, we can then calculate the tax payable using the applicable tax rates from the table. Payable income tax equals base tax plus tax on next balance minus tax rebate. Refer to the income tax rate. The chargeable income, 50,230 ringgit Malaysia, is in the category 50001 to 70,000. Base tax is the tax on the first 50,000 of the chargeable income, 1,800 to be charged for the first 50,000. Payable income tax equals base tax, 1,800 plus the tax on next balance, 13% to be charged on next balance. That's 50,230 minus 50,000 times 13%. Then, deduct the tax rebate. The tax rebate is given 1,260. Base tax. Tax on next balance. And tax rebate. Simplify to 1,800 plus 29.90 minus 1260. The calculated result is 569.90. Therefore, the income tax to be paid by Ms. Ilham is 569.90 ringgit Malaysia. Question number 11. A. Financial goals. Financial goals are objectives you set for saving and spending money, which can be driven by needs or wants. State two types of financial goals. 1. Short-term financial goal. 2. Long-term financial goal. B. 1. Based on Table 7, determine in SIC Rashid's cash flow. And state the type of the cash flow. Cash flow formula. Cash flow equals total income minus total expenses. In SIC Rashid's total monthly income is 4322 plus 500. From this, deduct the total amount of monthly fixed expenses. 900 plus 600 plus 200. And deduct the total amount of monthly variable expenses. 180 plus 550 plus 350 plus 200. Cash flow equals total monthly income. Deduct the total monthly fixed expenses. Deduct the total monthly variable expenses. The resulting cash flow is 1842 ringgit Malaysia. Since the amount is positive, SIC Rashid has a positive cash flow. B. 2a. SIC Rashid wants to save money to get married within 1 year. He needs 10,850 ringgit Malaysia for the dowry and 13,000 ringgit Malaysia for wedding expenses. The monthly saving within 1 year is the sum of 10,850 and 13,000 divided by a year, 12. equals 1,987.5 ringgit Malaysia per month. This means he must save 1,987.5 ringgit Malaysia each month. But, from part B1, we know his available monthly cash flow is 1,842 ringgit Malaysia. Next, find out whether his cash flow is enough. Difference between the monthly savings and cash flow. 1,987.5 minus 1,842 equals 145.5. So, he is short by 145.5 ringgit Malaysia each month. B. 2b. Hence, suggest 2 changes that Insik Rashid should make to his monthly financial plan as shown in Table 7 to achieve his financial goal. Insik Rashid can try to spend less on his variable expenses. Spend less on food and drinks, maybe he can cook more at home. Spend less on petrol, he could carpool, use public transport sometimes. Question number 12. A1. State the size of class interval and the range of the data. The size of class interval is calculated as the difference between the upper boundary and the lower boundary. Let's understand the boundary of a class interval. The upper boundary for the class 70 to 79 is 79.5. The lower boundary for the class 70 to 79 is 69.5. Class interval equals 79.5 minus 69.5 equals 10. The size of class interval is 10. State the range of the data. Range is calculated as the difference between upper class boundary of the highest interval and upper class boundary of the lowest interval. The upper class boundary of the highest interval is 139.5. And the upper class boundary of the lowest interval is 79.5. 139.5 minus 79.5 equals 60. The range of the data is 60. A2. Find the value of x if the total number of customers on that day is 68. The total number of customers on the second day is 68. 2 plus 4 plus 3 plus 8 plus 14 plus 20 plus x equals to 68. Add up the numbers. 51 plus x equals 68. X equals to 17. The value of x is 17. B. Draw a frequency polygon based on the data of the second day. Plot the points with frequency 2 on the midpoint of class 70 to 79. 4. 3. 8. 14. 20. And 17 respectively. To make it a closed shape, add a point before the first and after the last. Connect the points with straight line. A frequency polygon is formed. C1, from the graph in B. State the distribution shape of the total amount of expenditures of both days. The first day is a bell-shaped distribution. Second day is a left-skewed distribution. C2, determine which day represents the expenditure on the day the supermarket held a special sale. Justify your answer. The second day. This is because customers spend more money on second day. More customers paid for high price. Question number 13. A. State the label which should be used for vertex Q and edge K. Table 9.1 shows which of these activities each of the 5 friends like. Diagram 7.1 connects activities and people. The activities are represented by vertices. The people are represented by edges. In the graph, the point P has 4 edges connected to it. That means 4 people are connected to that activity. Only bowling has 4 people who like it. So, P must be bowling. Surya connects to P and Q. Surya likes bowling and hiking. Since vertex P is bowling, then vertex Q must be hiking. Susie connects P and R. Susie likes bowling and badminton. P is bowling. So, vertex R is badminton. State edge K. Edge K connects vertex Q, hiking, and vertex R, badminton. From the table, only Pandian is likes hiking and badminton. So, edge K is Pandian. Vertex Q is hiking. Edge K is Pandian. B1. Complete the diagram 7.2 in the answer space by drawing an undirected and weighted graph to represent their journey. R to Z. Draw a line between R and Z. Label it 11.2. R to B, 10.9. K to Z, 18.4. Z to B, 10.1. K to R, 9.4. A to K, 9.2. B to A, 12.5. P to R, 7.2. A to P, 6.2. And B to P, 7.5. B2. Hence, draw a tree with a minimum total weight such that every being visited once only. To avoid long distance like 18.4, 11.2, 10.9, or 12.5. The tree ensures all locations relate to the minimum total weight. Start from Z to B. From B to P. P to A. A to K. And K to R. Here's a tree with a minimum total weight such that every being visited once only. B3. Fahad wants to go to Klebang Beach. From Zoo. K represents the Klebang Beach. And Z represents the zoo. He must pass through the hang Tua as well to fetch his brother. P represents hang Tua as well. List the 2 shortest routes for this journey. Try to find more routes that suit the given conditions. The first shortest route. From Z to B. From B to P. From P to A. And from A to K. The total distance of this route is 10.1 plus 7.5 plus 6.2 plus 9.2 equals 33 km. The second shortest route. From Z to R. From R to P. From P to A. From A to K. The total distance of this route is 11.2 plus 7.2 plus 6.2 plus 9.2 equals 33.8 km. These are the shortest way to connect the Klebang beach from Zoo through Hang Tua as well. Question number 14. A. This question is about how the depth of water in a watershed varies over time. The depth of water changes over time. When the height of the water reaches the maximum level, a water gate opens to release water until the water level returns to its minimum. Diagram 8 shows a complete cycle of the depth of water, in m, in the watershed. Based on Diagram 8, state the minimum level, in m, of the water in the watershed. Looking at the graph, the lowest point of the curve is at 1 meter. So, the minimum level is 1 m. 2. State the length of time, in hours, that the gate of the watershed is open. This means how long is the gate open? From the graph, the gate opens when the water level is at its highest, at 1 hour, which is 3 meters, and closes when the water level is at its lowest, at 3 hours, which is 1 meter. The length of time is 3 minus 1. Therefore, the gate is open for 2 hours. B. 1. Write down the equation of the graph, in the form, y equals a sine bx plus c, where a, b and c are constant. In a trigonometric function, y equals a sine bx plus c. A is the amplitude. Amplitude is the maximum distance, measured from the center line, for trigonometric function. For this sine function, it has an amplitude of 1. Because the graph goes 1 unit up and 1 unit down from the midline of the graph. B affects the period. Period is the interval of one complete cycle. This sine function has a period of 4 hours. One full cycle completed from 0 to 4 hours. Use the formula. Period is equal to 360 divided by b. It has a period of 4 hours. Simplify as b equals 360 divided by 4. B equals 90 degrees. C affects the position of the graph of the function. It moves the entire graph up or down vertically. This sine wave is centered at 2. This means the entire wave has been shifted upward by 2 units, compares to basic sine wave, which is centers at 0. The basic sine wave is centered at 0. The graph moves 2 units upward. C equals to 2. Therefore the equation written as y equals sine 90x plus 2 B. 2. Hence, find the depth of water, in meter, when the time is 150 minutes. When x equals 150 minutes, convert minute to hour. 150 divided by 60 equals 2.5 hours. Substitute x equals 2.5 into the equation obtained from part 1. Y equals sine 90 times 2.5 plus 2. Y equals sine 225 degrees plus 2. From trigonometry, sine 225 equals minus 0.707. The value of y equals 1.2929. Therefore, the depth of water at 150 minutes is approximately 1.2929 meters. C. During rainy season, the depth of the water will rise from the initial level to the maximum level faster. A complete cycle will happen every 2 hours. This tells us that the wave pattern is happening more quickly than before. The period, how long it takes to complete one full wave, is now 2 hours, instead of 4 hours. Find the value of b by using the formula for the period. Period equals 360 degrees divided by b. Given that the period is now 2 hours, 2 equals 360 over b. The value of b is 180 degrees. Forming an equation, y equals sine 180x plus 2. Complete the graph in the answer space, for the depth of water during rainy season. Plot a table with the given various x value. Calculate the value of y through the equation obtained. When x equals 0, substitute into the equation y equals 2. When x equals 0.5, y equals 3. When x equals 1, y equals 2. When x equals 1.5, y equals 1. When x equals 2, y equals 2. When x equals 2.5, y equals 3. When x equals 3, y equals 2. When x equals 3.5, y equals 1. When x equals 4, y equals 2. Then, plot the points on the graph. 0, 2. 0.5, 3. 1, 2. 1.5, 1. 2, 2. 2.5, 3. 3, 2. 3.5, 1. And 4, 2. Connect the points with a curved line. A graph of sine function, y equals sine 180x plus 2, is formed. Alternative method. Since a complete cycle occurs every 2 hours, there will be 2 complete cycles between 0 and 4 hours. The original graph shows 1 complete cycle over 4 hours. But if the cycle repeats every 2 hours, then 2 full cycles will fit within that same time interval. 2. By comparing diagram 8 and your graph in C1. Explain what the difference in frequency of both graphs means in the context of the equation. In graph C1, the water gate opens once to release water, whereas in diagram 8, the water gate opens twice within a 4-hour period. Question number 15. A. If 2 matrices are equal, their corresponding elements must also equal. 7 is equal to 7. 4 is equal to 4. Therefore, x plus 3 equals minus 1. X equals minus 4. Minus 2 equals 5y. Y equals minus 2/5. B1. A supermarket sells boxes of sushi and pieces of fried chicken. Lily spent Rm55 on 3 boxes of sushi and 2 pieces of fried chicken. Kelly spent Rm20 more compared to Lily on 4 boxes of sushi and 3 pieces of fried chicken. Using matrix method, calculate the price of a box of sushi and of a piece of fried chicken. Let the price of a box of sushi be x, and the price of a piece of fried chicken be y. 3 boxes of sushi, 3x, and 2 pieces of fried chicken, 2y. 3x plus 2y equals 55. For boxes of sushi, for x, and 3 pieces of fried chicken, 3y. For x plus 3y, Kelly spent Rm20 more compared to Lily, that's 55 plus 20. For x plus 3y equals 75. Express the simultaneous linear equations as a matrix equation. Transpose the coefficient matrix from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, in front of the constant matrix, and convert it to inverse matrix. Let's recall the formula of the inverse matrix. The determinant, AD minus BC, 3 times 3 minus 2 times 4. Swap the elements in the main diagonal 3 and 3, and put negatives in front of 2 and 4, minus 2, and minus 4. We have the determinant, 9 minus 8, equals 1. Multiply the two matrices. The first row, first column, 3 times 55 plus minus 2 times 75. And the second row, first column, minus 4 times 55 plus 3 times 75. The column matrix 15 and 5. The solution to the simultaneous linear equations is x equals 15 and y equals 5. Therefore, the price of a box of sushi B is Rm15. The price of a piece of fried chicken is Rm5. B2. Jane has Rm50. She wants to buy 2 boxes of sushi and 8 pieces of fried chicken. Does she have enough money to buy these items at the discounted price? Justify your answer by using matrix multiplication. If a 20% discount is applied to a box of sushi, 80% of the amount must be paid. The price of a box of sushi after a discount of 20% equals 15 times 80%. That's 12 ringgit Malaysia. With a 40% off for a piece of fried chicken, 60% of the price remains payable. The price of a piece of fried chicken after a discount of 40% equals 5 times 60%. That's 3 ringgit Malaysia. By using matrix multiplication, write 2 boxes of sushi and 8 pieces of fried chicken as a row matrix, 2, 8. And their prices as a column matrix, 12, 3. Do the multiplication. 2 times 12 plus 8 times 3 equals 48. Therefore, Jane has enough money to buy these items, because it needs only Rm48, and Jane has Rm50. Question number 16, A1. Name the shape formed by the 3 posts. The diagram shows 3 posts labeled P, Q, and R. According to the question, the coach wants to construct 2 perpendicular lines using these posts. Perpendicular lines meet at a right angle 90 degrees. This means that when you connect the posts P, Q, and R, one of the angles, specifically at point Q, is a right angle. When a triangle has one right angle, it is called a right-angled triangle. So, the shape formed by the three posts is a right-angled triangle. 2. Calculate the distance between post P and post R. Since the triangle is a right-angled triangle with the right angle at Q, we can use Pythagoras' theorem to find the distance between post P and R, which is the longest side of the triangle, called the hypotenuse. Pythagoras' theorem says that in a right-angled triangle, PR square equals PQ square plus QR square. Given PQ equals 2.5 meters and QR equals 6 meters. Substitute the values. PR square equals 2.5 square plus 6 square. Therefore, the distance between post P and R is 6.5 meters. 16b. We are to find the probability that Zarif or Shafi manages to move to the second round of the competition. The word or in probability, or means either one or both events happen. So, when a question asks, what is the probability that Zarif or Shafi moves to the second round? It is asking for the probability that Zarif moves, or Shafi moves, or both move. Instead of directly finding the probability that Zarif or Shafi moves to the second round, we calculate the probability that neither of them moves, then subtract from 1. It is given that the probability that Zarif moves to the second round is 3/5. So, the probability of Zarif does not move to the second round is 1 minus 3/5 equals 2/5. The probability that Shafi moves to the second round is 4/9. So, the probability of Shafi does not move to the second round is 1 minus 4/9 equals 5/9. If we assume their performances are independent, Zarif does not move and Shafi does not move. The probability that neither of them move is equal to 2/5 times 5/9 equals 2/9. So, the probability that Zarif or Shafi move to the second round is 1 minus the probability that neither of them move. 1 minus 2/9 equals 7/9. This is the probability that Zarif or Shafi manages to move to the second round of the competition. (16c) A boy has shot an arrow. Diagram 11 shows the path of the arrow from point M to point N. Point M and point N are 1.2 m vertically above the horizontal ground, 1.2 m above the ground. The path of the arrow can be represented by the quadratic function, which forms a curve that opens downward. Calculate the maximum height from the ground. The highest point is found at the vertex, turning point, of the quadratic curve. To find where the arrow reaches its maximum height, find the midpoint between the point M and point N of the quadratic equation. When f(x) equals 0, substitute into the equation. Factored 2. So, one root is x equals 0, and the other root is x equals to 30. This means the arrow travels from x equals 0 to x equals 30. The maximum height occurs at the midpoint. Midpoint equals 0 plus 30, then divided by 2, equals 15. Then, find the height at median where x equals 15. Substitute x equals 15 into the quadratic function, equals 14.625 meters. This is the height above point M. Add the height of point M, 1.2 meters above the ground. Therefore, the maximum height from ground is 14.625 plus 1.2 equals 15.825 meters. 16. D. By calculating the mean and the standard deviation for Shafi, compare the performances of the two archers. Mean for Shafi is the sum of fx divided by sum of f. Calculate the total score by multiplying each score by its frequency. 19 times 6 plus 21 times 7 plus 24 times 8 plus 6 times 9 plus 2 times 10. And then dividing by the total number of scores. 19 plus 21 plus 24 plus 6 plus 2. The mean of Shafi is 7.319. Standard deviation tells how spread out the data is from the mean. Standard deviation for Shafi. Sigma equals the square root of the sum of f times x squared divided by the sum of f minus mean squared. Substitute all the data from table 10 and the mean 7.319 into the formula. The calculated result is 1.042. Zarif has a higher mean, 7.542, compared to Shafi, 7.319, meaning Zarif performs better on average. Shafi has a lower standard deviation, 1.042, than Zarif, 1.233, which means Shafi's performance is more consistent, less spread out. Therefore, Zarif better on average. Shafi's performance is more consistent. Question number 17. A1. The path of the water rocket is represented by the quadratic function f, x, equals ax squared plus bx plus c. State the range of the value of a. The word range means the possible values that the variable a can take. When you're asked to state the range of values, you should usually use inequality symbols, such as greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to indicate the limits of the values. A in the quadratic function determines whether the function has a maximum or minimum. From diagram 12, the water rocket follows a parabolic path that opens downward. It goes up, reaches a maximum height, and then comes down. For a quadratic function, if a is greater than 0, the parabola opens upwards, it has a minimum value at its vertex. If a is less than 0, the parabola opens downwards, it has a maximum value at its vertex. Since the rocket's path opens downward, it has a maximum value at its vertex. The range of the value of a is a less than 0. 2. State the coordinates of the maximum point of the water rocket's path. The actual maximum value is given by evaluating the function at the vertex. From the image in question, the water rocket reaches a maximum height of 5 meters and lands 8 meters from the launching point. The path is symmetric, and the rocket lands at x equals 8 meters. That means the maximum point is halfway between x equals 0 and x equals 8. Median equals 0 plus 8 divided by 2 equals 4. Therefore, the coordinates of the maximum point are 4, 5. B. Table 11 shows a grouped data in 4 ranges of estimated costs. Let's calculate the standard deviation of the data. Step 1. The midpoint is the average of the lower and upper limits of each class. These midpoints will represent the estimated cost for each group. For RM 15 to 19, midpoint equals 15 plus 19 divided by 2 is equal to 17. For RM 20 to 24, midpoint equals 20 plus 24 divided by 2 is equal to 22. Continue with 27 and 32. Step 2. Calculate the mean. Divide the total FX by the total number of teams. Multiply each midpoint by the number of teams, frequency, and add them up. 5 times 17 plus 3 times 22 plus 6 times 27 plus 2 times 32. Then divided by sum of frequency, 5 plus 3 plus 6 plus 2. Mean equals 23.56. So, on average, each team spent about RM 23.56. Step 3. Calculate the standard deviation. Use the standard deviation formula for grouped data. Square each midpoint and multiply by its frequency, add them up. 5 times 17 square plus 3 times 22 square plus 6 times 27 square plus 2 times 32 square. Divided the sum of fx square by the sum of frequency, 5 plus 3 plus 6 plus 2. Then, deduct the mean square, 23.56 square. Square root the value obtained. The standard deviation is 5.23. 17. C. The water rocket is made of 3 parts: a hemisphere, a cylinder, and a cone. The given diameter of the rocket is 10 centimeters. Thus, the radius is half of its diameter. 10 divided by 2 equals 5 centimeters. All 3 parts have the same radius. The height of the cylinder is 4 times its radius. 4 times 5 equals 20. The height of the cone is the same as its radius. The height of cone is 5 centimeters. And the partial cylinder, of height, h minus 5. Calculate the value of h. Step 1. Find the total volume of the bottle. The volume of hemisphere. 2/3 of pi r cube. Plus the volume of cylinder. Pi r square h. Plus the volume of cone. 1/3 of pi r square h. Radius equal to 5. The height of cylinder is 20, and the height of cone is 5. Substitute all the values into the formula. Simplify to the volume respectively. The total volume is 13,750 over 7. Step 2. Calculate the value of h as shown in the diagram. The total volume, 13,750 over 7. And the volume of cone, 2,750 over 21 have been determined. If 1/3 of the volume of the bottle is filled with water, volume of water filled is 1/3 of 13,750 over 7 equals 13,750 over 21. Step 3. Set up the equation for water volume. The water volume includes partial cylinder of height, h minus 5, and full cone. Substitute all the values into the formula. Multiply entire equation by 21 to eliminate denominators. Simplify the equation. And the value of h is equal to 11 2/3. This is the height from the tip of the cone up to the water level. D. A student is testing two angles, 30 degrees and 45 degrees. To find out which angle makes the water rocket fly the farthest, a formula is given to find how far the rocket flies. L equals u squared divided by g, times 2 sine theta cos theta, where u is the initial velocity, 20 meters per second, and g is the gravitational acceleration, 10 meters per second square. Test with 30 degrees. Substitute the values of u, g, and 30 degrees into the given formula. L equals 20 squared divided by 10, times 2 sine 30 degrees cos 30 degrees. Simplify to 400 over 10. From the trigonometry table, sine 30 degrees equals 1/2, and cos 30 degrees equals root 3 over 2. The distance is 20 root 3 meters. Then, test with 45 degrees. Substitute the values of u, g, and 45 degrees into the given formula. L equals 20 squared divided by 10, times 2 sine 45 degrees cos 45 degrees. From the trigonometry table, sine 45 degrees is the same as cos 45 degrees, both are equal 1 over root 2. The distance is 40 meters. Between 30 degrees and 45 degrees, launching at 45 degrees makes the water rocket fly farther. Therefore, 45 degree is the best launching angle for the water rocket. This concludes the SPM Mathematics 2023 Paper 2 revision. Thanks for watching, and may the effort bring excellent results. Good luck!